Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Let's get started with a very easy nigun. A nigun is a melody without words. So if you don't know the words, it's fine because there are no words. So can you say na 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 na
Na na na na.
na 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 na
Na na na na.
na 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 na?
Na 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 na.
That's 50% of what we're gonna sing together now. Na 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 na.
Na 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 na.
Na 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 na.
Na 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 na.
Na 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 na.
Na 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 na.
Here comes the conclusion. Na 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 na. Go.
Na 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 na.
Now you will experience some tension, and it sounds like this. Na 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 na. Go. Na 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 na. Na 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 da ya da da da. Na 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 ya da da da. Ay da 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 ya da da. Once again, conclusion. Ya da 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 da. Go. Ya da 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 da. You are absolutely ready. And we are all ready to sing together, to welcome Shabbat together in community. Ya la la la, ya la la, ay la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ay la ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ay ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ay ya la la la, ay la la la, ya la la, ay la la la, ay la la, ya la la, ya la ya la la, amba ya la ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, amba ya la la. Let's try now to speed it up. And we really want to hear your voices. And you can put your prayer book on the side and try to follow the rhythm with your hands. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Good
Shalom.
Shabbos. You can look at each other and say Good Shabbos. Now, even if people cannot see that, look at each other and make a big smile. Smile, big and wide. They might see your eyes. You know, our eyes get a bit extended when we smile. Look at this. Can you see that? So we can see your eyes smiling as well. And it's such a good thing, such a blessing to welcome Shabbat together, to welcome Shabbat in community. In this Parashat Lech Lecha, this week we read Torah portion Lech Lecha, in which we learn about the story of Abraham and Sarah. And a beautiful thing about that story is that we learn that Abraham and Sarah, they had a tent that was open from its 4 sides. From wherever you look at that tent, it was open. Because the first enterprise of our tradition is building community. That tent was open for anyone who wanted to come to feel welcome, to feel part of our tent. And it's so nice to welcome Shabbat together, to welcome Shabbat recognizing all these beautiful faces that are under our tent. To welcome Shabbat recognizing those also that are joining us in Zoom. Shalom everyone. I want to wave you so you can see us waving you. You can wave us back. And so those that are joining us through YouTube and Facebook. And Avi, our tent has a simcha this weekend. We are going to be celebrating your Bat Mitzvah. This is the Shabbat of your Bat Mitzvah. Tomorrow, Abigail Nejat-Bina will be coming up to the Torah. And we would love to invite you and your parents to light Shabbos candles. And all of you can follow them on page 120. You need to come all the way to the candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We can join them and say with them once the candles are lit. Baruch atah
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
For those that have a Siddur, we invite you to open your Siddurim on page 130. We say that we welcome Shabbat with joy. Lechunen enana Adonai. We also say that every Shabbat we try to sing a new song. We try to approach our lives with creativity.
לכו נרננה לאדוני, נריע לצורישנו, נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. לכו נרננה לאדוני, נריע לצורישנו, נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו.
לכו נרננה לאדוני, נריע לצורישנו, נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. Can you follow the rhythm with your hands? It goes pa 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 pa. You got it. Goes like this. Yeah. One second. Pa 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 pa. Pa 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 pa. Pa 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 pa. Pa 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 pa. Pa 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 pa. לכו נרננה לאדוני, נהריע לצורישנו, נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. We invite you to turn your Sidurim to page 136. In Shabbat, we remember how the world was created. Now, who knows what color was the skin color of the first two human beings? Who knows what was their skin color? That's a tough question, right? Well, we don't really know, but we can make an assumption. Who knows what was the name of the first human being? Adam. And that sounds like the Hebrew word Adom. And what color is Adom? Red. Maybe the first human beings were red. And what else sounds like Adam? Adama, the earth. So in Shabbat, we remember that we are all created with a red foundation. What's that red foundation? Our blood, dam. All these words are connected to each other. The earth, our existence, and our blood. So we think for a moment about the gift of being alive and all the opportunities that we have as we enjoy our lives. I invite you to turn your Sidurim once again to page 136. Es Morle David. From God to give us the strength to recognize that all human beings are created equal. And as we recognize that we are all made by the same materials, the same blood, the same foundation, we ask to find peace with each other, wholeness. Adonai os lemoiten. May God gives us the courage, the strength to create in our lives the blessing of peace. Adonai Yevarech et amo v'shalom. You are seeing all those people in Zoom. It's like watching TV. I see your eyes all over the place. Well, that's a nice thing. You know that we compare Shabbat with a queen. Who knows what a queen looks like? She looks old. That's true sometimes. But sometimes they are younger, right? Gilad, they look what? They have a crown. Yes, they have a majestic crown. And I see someone pointing I'm not going to say who, pointing to her wife. Correct. That's what a queen looks like. Any other idea? We say that Shabbat looks like a queen, feels like the presence of something majestic. And we, as evening comes, we go out to welcome that beautiful presence, that majestic presence. We turn our Sidurim to page 138, and I know that those that are in Ulpan have been practicing with Gabriel. We are trying to practice a little bit prayers because for a long time we weren't here together in services. So we are only exercising our singing out muscles. Hopefully next month we're going to be singing together way more. So those that are in Ulpan and have been practicing with Gabriel, would love to hear your voices as we turn our Sidurim to page 138 for Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה Lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה שמר וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם לתפארת ולתהילה Lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה Lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה
לקראת שבת לכוון אלך כי היא מקור הברכה ראש מקדם משוכה סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה
Lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה Lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה התערערי התערערי כי באורך ומאורי אורי אורי שתדברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה Lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה Lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה לא תבשי ולא תגלמי מה תשכחי ומה תהני בך יחסו אני עמי ונבנתה עיר עתילה Lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה Lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה
Please rise, and as we rise, we turn toward the entrance of the synagogue as if we were welcoming a bride, a queen. As we say, Boi ושלום את ארץ בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי חלה, לך תביא לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקרלה, לך תביא לקראת קהלה, בני שבת נקרלה. And as you're standing, please remain standing. Don't move. I want to show you something. Now, put your sidurim on your chairs, please. And I want you to see that you actually, if you can move 4 steps to your left. Try 4 steps to your left. Yes, you can. Now try to do 8 to your right. Look at all the motion you have. And the reason we are checking how much motion you have is because we want to dance with you. I'd like to invite Rachel and Noga. Do we have the headset, Zach, to give to Rachel? Where's the headset? Have a headset. I can't see.
Oh, it's right here.
So we are going to dance.
You're going
So for those that don't know, the lower part of Psalm 92 that we sing after Lecha Dodi is Tzadik Katamar. That's a beautiful dance for that. I see you, David, already showing your flexibility. Love it. Love it. You can start stretching a little bit. It's Shabbat we welcome with our bodies. What? I think we're going to do it back and forth, right? We're going to let Rachel manage this.
Ready?
We are after you, Rachel.
Okay, so this song is called Sadi Kadamar, which means upright like a palm tree.
Correct.
Okay.
The righteous
Right.
will arise like the strong and firm. Those words are not there. I'm just interpreting that. Our tradition is a tradition of interpretation, Rachel.
Excellent.
So I am adding words.
So the first thing we'll do is practice our palm tree arms and just sway like a palm tree. Has everyone got that motion? Okay, great. So the first step is 4 steps to the right and 4 sways. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sway, sway, sway. Again. 1, 2, to the right. Good. That's half the dance.
Cool.
So then let's see. I practiced this in a circle. So then we go right, right, or forward 2.
Here you go.
Back
feel
2.
free to stumble into the chairs. Come on.
Yeah, so imagine
We
we're
really
in a
mean
circle.
that.
So then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 forward, 2 back.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. We're going to mark it first and then do it with the
You
music.
tell me what to do. I work for you right now.
Okay. So we'll take it from the top with the added steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, sway,
Katamar
sway,
Ifrach.
Again.
Tzadik
1,
Katamar
2,
Ifrach
3, 4,
Ifrach.
sway,
Tzadik
sway,
Katamar
sway.
Ifrach.
2 forward, 2 back. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good.
Very good. Okay.
Look at me and say freeze.
So after your 2 walking forward, 2 walking back, you do a 3-step turn. It's pretty fast. 1, 2, 3. Forward, back, and then 4 more sways. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll do that last part slowly. Starting from the 2 walking forward, 2 walking back. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quick spin. 1, 2, 3. Cross. Back. The other way. Cross. Back. 4 sways. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the whole thing. Okay. Want to do it?
The moment you have been waiting for the entire week.
1, 2, 3, 4, sway, sway, sway. 1, 2, 3, 4, sway, sway. 2 walking forward, 2 back. Quick turn. Cross back, cross the other way, and 4 sways. Forward, 2 back, quick turn. Cross back, sway. From the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, sway, 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 sway. 1, 2, 3, right. Walking forward, 2 back, cross. Oh, I forgot to spin. Swing. Forward, back, spin, cross the other way, and sway. Good. Want to do it together?
בחצרות אלוהינו, בחצרות אלוהינו, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו, בחצרות אלוהינו, בחצרות אלוהינו, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינובו בשיבה, עוד ינובו בשיבה, עוד ינובו בשיבה, עוד ינובו בשיבה, ישנים ברעננים יהיו, ישנים ברעננים יהיו, ישנים ברעננים יהיו. להגיד כי ישר אדוני, להגיד כי ישר אדוני, צורי ולא עוולה תבוא. היי! צדיק כתמרי פרח, צדיק כתמרי פרח, צדיק כתמרי פרח, צדיק כתמרי פרח, כארץ בלבנון נזכה, כארץ בלבנון נזכה, כארץ בלבנון נזכה. כארץ בלבנון נזכה, כארץ בלבנון נזכה, כארץ בלבנון נזכה. Please remain standing. Thank you very much. What a nice thing is to feel our bodies connected with our souls. And to welcome Shabbat this way. Rachel, thank you so much. We hope this is the first time of many that you lead us in dancing. Avi, I would like to invite you to lead us in Barhu. We will now welcome together the Mariv prayer. Gabriel. Avi.
Yeah, share. We're gonna stand right next to each other, and you're gonna hold this. There we go.
Day turns to night.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. comes day, day turns to night. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mifnei choshech, golel or mifnei choshech, v'choshech mifnei yom.
As we think of the change of time and we recognize evening time, I invite you to close your eyes for a moment. Close your eyes for a moment and to think of maybe one of the many blessings that you have in your life. To think of what makes you feel loved, what makes you feel connected. To think of an embrace, a place, a moment that symbolizes home for you. And it's with that sense of connection that we recognize the unity of God. It's for that sense of connection that we pray, "Yavatcha al tasir mimenu leolamim." Dear God, never remove your love, this sense of connection, this possibility and ability to recognize the many blessings that we have in our lives from our hearts. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Israel. Blessed are you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. I invite you to turn your Siddur into page 152 for the Shema. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please join us on page 154 with the chanting of Ve'ahavta. Please join me. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וכשאתם נרות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת, אמת באמונה כל סוד בקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ואין זולתו ואנחנו ישראל עמו.
The poem we have is a poem by a freedom fighter from World War II. His name is Paul Éluard, and the name of the poem is Liberty.
On my school notebooks, on my desk, and on the trees, on the sands of snow, I write your name.
Sur toutes les pages lues, sur toutes les pages blanches, pierre sans papier ou cendre, j'écris ton nom.
On the images of gold, on the weapons of the warriors, on the crown of the king, I write your name.
Sur la jungle et le désert, sur les nids, sur les genêts, sur l'écho de mon enfance, j'écris ton nom.
On all the scarves of blue, on the moist sunlit swamps, on the living lake of moonlight, I write your name.
Sur les merveilles des nuits, sur le pain blanc des journées, sur les saisons fiancées, j'écris ton nom.
On each whiff of daybreak, on the sea, on the boats, on the demented mountain top, I write your name.
Sur les champs, sur l'horizon, sur les ailes des oiseaux, et sur le moulon des ombres, j'écris ton nom.
On the froth of the cloud, on the sweat of the storm, on the dense rain and the flat, I write your name.
Sur les formes scintillantes, sur les cloches des couleurs, sur la vérité physique, j'écris ton nom.
On the high paths, on the deployed routes, on the crowd-thronged square, I write your name.
Sur la lampe qui s'allume, sur la lampe qui s'éteint, sur mes maisons réunies, j'écris ton nom.
On a fruit cut in two by my mirror in my bedroom, on my bed, an empty shell, I write your name.
Sur mon chien gourmand et tendre, sur ses oreilles dressées, sur sa patte maladroite, j'écris ton nom.
On the latch of my door, on those familiar objects, on the torrents of the good fire, I write your name.
Sur toute chair accordée, sur le front de mes amis, sur chaque main qui s'étend, j'écris ton nom.
On the window of surprises, on a pair of expectant lips, in a state far deeper than silence, I write your name.
Sur mes refuges détruits, sur mes phares écroulés, sur les murs de mon ennui, j'écris ton nom.
On abstraction without desire, on naked solitude, on the marches of death, I write your name.
Sur la santé revenue, sur le risque disparu, sur l'espoir sans souvenir, j'écris ton nom.
And for the want of a word, I renew my life, for I was born to know you, to name you.
Et par le pouvoir d'un mot, je recommence ma vie. Je suis né pour te connaître, pour te nommer. Liberty.
Thank you very much. Thinking of the universal need for freedom, for expansion in every language, in every heart. We turn our Sidurim to page 158 for Birkata Geulah. Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. And after the blessing for redemption, we take a moment to think about shelter, about the peace that we are trying to build within ourselves and with each other. Every night as we go to sleep, we say, Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom. Let us lay down in peace and let us walk up and stand up, rise up for peace. And as we think of that peace, we think of love, the love that we need to have for life and for each other in order to be builders of that peace. We're on page 161.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from the storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu Leshalom. Ve'amidenu shomrenu lechayim. Ufras aleinu zukat shlomecha. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from the storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm.
ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over the holy city of Jerusalem. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת בדורותם ברית עולם. It is a covenant to keep Shabbat as a part of our lives, to remember that we are in the search for sacredness, and that sacredness lies on our ability to stop for a moment, to change the rhythm, the tempo of our routines, and to recognize the many gifts that we have in our lives. In Shabbat, we stop running for a moment and we look around. And as we look around, we look inside. And we think of all the things we have in our lives. I invite you to turn your Siddur to page 164 for Tfilat Amidah. And you can follow along the words of our Siddur. You can take a moment just for you to think about something that you need to think about this week and you didn't have the time, you didn't have the bandwidth to dedicate attention to that. So 1 minute of focus, 1 minute for an intention. We're on page 164. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi yagid, ufi yagid, concentration, for focus. I know that some of us might be busy thinking of the friend who is standing next to us. But for 1 minute, for one moment, close your eyes and find your space for your heart, for your intentions. See that we say you לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. We will now turn our Sidurim to page 180 at the end of Tfilat Amidah. After thinking for a couple of minutes just about ourselves, we open our eyes, we look around, and we realize that there are so many others with their needs, with their intentions. And so, at the end of Tfilat Amidah, after dedicating some time to ourselves, we recognize each other's presence, and we pray for the ability to come together looking for wholeness, for peace, for shalom. Page 180, Ose Shalom.
Ose Shalom bimrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose Shalom bimrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose Shalom bimrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Re'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Re'al kol ha'olam.
Ose Shalom
Rama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimrama, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol ha'olam. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol ha'olam. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom
We'll now turn our study to page 371. As we conclude Filat Amidah, we think of all those that are in need of healing. We pray for those that are dealing with illness in their bodies, with illness in their souls, in their spirits. We pray for those dealing with addictions. As we bring our voices together, hoping that our loving energies will bring some comfort for those that are in pain, for those that are suffering. We're on page 371, Misheberach. Wish to all of them, to all of us, רפואה שלמה והחלמה מהירה, a complete and a fast recovery. And let us say,
Amen.
so it's time for a story. It's time for a story, a very important story. So I would like to ask you, I give you a microphone. Need a very strong microphone here.
Hi, I'm Wesley. I'm Aviva's father.
Hi, Wesley.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Wesley.
Friends, Wesley has a very important story to tell you. A very, very important story, so you better get closer to him.
It's story time. This is Zero by Catherine Otoshi. Zero was a big, round number. When she looked at herself, she just saw a hole right in her center. Yeah, see that? Every day she watched the numbers line up. She wanted to count 2. But how could a number worth nothing become something? 0 felt empty inside. She watched 1 having fun with the others. 1 was solid and strong with bold strokes and square corners. 0 was big and round. with no corners at all. If I were like 1, I don't want these two to get too close to each other, then I could count 2, she thought. So she pushed and pulled, she stretched and straightened. She forced and flattened, and finally became 0. She sighed. Becoming like 1 was too much of a stretch. 8 and 9 rolled into the scene. If you double yourself up, you'd be like me, said 8. So 0 twisted and turned and tried to be like 8. Or you could be like 9 with a longer line, said 9. So 0 pinched and puckered and tried to be like 9. But 0 could only be 0. We're on our way to join the others. Come count with us, they said. 0 felt deflated. 8 and 9 were numbers with value. Of course they'd count. How could they know how she felt? 0 had a new thought. If she could impress the numbers, that'd give her value. She'd leap, she'd soar, she'd sizzle, she'd shine. She'd make a grand entrance and floor them all. 0 began to roll faster and faster and faster. She leapt, flying, soaring, rocketing, right into 1, who knocked over 2, who fell into 3 and 4, toppling 5 and 6, who crashed into 7 and 8, where they all ended up in a big pile on 9. All the numbers were bent out of shape. It's no use trying, sobbed 0. I'll never have value. I'll never be part of the count, she said. It's what's inside that counts most, pointed out 7. 0 looked at herself. But what if I don't have anything inside? Every number has value, said 7. Be open. You'll find a way. Suddenly 0 was herself in a new light. Saw herself in a new light. I'm not empty inside. I'm open. Oh boy. 0 rolled up to the numbers. I've thought of a way for us to count even more, she said. Count more, asked 4. Count us in, exclaimed 7. Lead the way, said 1. Everyone counts, the numbers shouted. 0 jumped in. Then she leapt up high and said, here's something we can try. If we help each other soar, we can count even more. Let's count again, starting with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and what's next? 100. What comes after that? Whoa, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1,000,000. We do count more, they cheered. 0 and the numbers explored and had fun, bringing more value to everyone. And this time, when she looked at herself, she felt whole, right in her center. The end.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wesley. I want to follow up in something you said. This idea of 0, and this idea of starting from the beginning. We are reading the first book of the Torah. We are reading the book of Genesis, and it tells that the story of the world starts from 0, from nothing. And the Talmud, the rabbis say, I want to tell you something very important, so I hope you're paying attention, that Adam and Eve, the first 2 human beings, were created alone, so nobody can say, my father and mother are greater than yours. My parents are better than yours. So we started just with only 2 human beings. So all of us can remember when we see each other that we are equal. We might not be the same. We might not look alike, but we are equal. And this week we read Parashat Lech Lecha, the story of Abraham and Sarah, and the movement, the beautiful idea, the idea that changed the world, the idea that they brought to the world was that we have only one God, and not 0, but 1. And that one God is the creator of all of us, and reminds us that we have one God and one set of parents, and therefore all of us, all human beings, we are all like one. So with that idea, I want to invite everyone to please rise. As I would like to invite you, Abby, to open the ark. With determination, Abby. Go. Love the determination. Say, Be'ashebota el levavecha. And you know what? You can repeat after us. Join me. You may be seated. At the very end of our service, we take a moment to acknowledge mourners, to acknowledge people that are missing, beloved ones that have passed away. And we have different times for mourning. We have 7 days, 30 days, and the cycle of a year of mourning. So we acknowledge all those that are in that cycle. And if you are during that cycle of mourning, please rise and share with us the name of those that you are remembering.
Joe Anguiano.
We also acknowledge those that by this time of the year, in years past, lost a beloved one. So if you have a yortzeit, if you have the anniversary of someone's passing by this time of the year, we invite you to rise as well. Now, by standing or sitting, you can join us with your hearts or with your voices for Mourners Kadesh, Kadesh Avelim, on page 598.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו,
Amen.
יהא שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו
Amen.
יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו
Amen.
עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו
Amen. May the memories of your dear ones be always a blessing. Yes, Zichram Baruch. I would like to invite you to go with your families. Make sure that you are in touch with your family. Rachel, can I ask you for the Kiddush cup? Thank you very much. As we conclude our service, here is my family. Be careful with the cables. Stay there. Thank you so much. We'll take a moment for Kiddush. And as we finish Kiddush, we'll dedicate to ourselves a blessing, all of us. So Kiddush, for those that want to follow it in the Siddur, is on page 122. I'm going to get there in a moment. And in the Kiddush, we remember that every Shabbat, we think again of the creation of the world. We think again of reconnecting with ourselves and with our families. And if your family is not here, you can join a different family. Let's make sure that we are one family. So if you see someone standing alone, you go to adopt someone. That's a part of the idea of opening the tent. Even if you see a pair, if you see only two people standing alone, that's also. We don't do pairs. We do at least trios. We need a trio. It's a minimum. It's the וילף ויבוקר יום השישי, ויחול השמיים בארץ בכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו כמו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חבריי וחברותיי.
לחיים.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, בשבת קודשו, באהבו ורצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, נתנו קידשת, עם כל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. חיים. Rabbi Miriam, can I invite you to join me? Be careful with the kiddy cup. I want to invite you. Here, be careful with the cup. Just so. Make sure that there is a beautiful tradition in Shabbat as we remember that and we think of this idea that God took a moment to acknowledge the creation of the world, to acknowledge the creation that He had birthed. We also acknowledge our own creations. We acknowledge the things that we are creating in our world. We acknowledge our children. We acknowledge our parents. And we also acknowledge loving relationships. That as we engage on them, we are creating new worlds.
We say for our boys, Yesimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. May God inspire you to live like Ephraim and Menashe. And for our girls we say, Yesimech Elohim ke'Sarah Rivka ke'Rachel v'chi Leah. May God inspire you to live like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. For all of our children, wherever they may be, we say, Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka,
כן יהי רצון.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'atzem lecha shalom.
כן יהי רצון.
May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace.
Hamaf Bashalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. May we have God's blessing for peace and connection and wholeness. Shabbat Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kol ha'olam. Have Kiddush outside. Please join us for Kiddush. You can join Noga. Noga, please do the prayer gefe. Go. Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu. Namotzi. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kol ha'olam. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.